Well, it's not the coaches poll, it's the AP poll. And it might be more accurate than the coaches poll was. We're going to talk about it on this episode of the Waterboys College Football Show.
All right, boys, AP poll is out. And someone heard Steve and I complaining about some things in the coaches poll and decided to fix it. So shout out to the AP. Apparently they do watch football. Texas at 1, Penn State at 2, Ohio State 3, Clemson 4, Georgia 5, Notre Dame 6, Oregon 7, Alabama 8. That could be a little high. LSU 9, Miami 10, Arizona State 11, Illinois 12, South Carolina 13, Michigan 14, Florida 15, SMU 16. Okay. Oh, all right. Hold on. Maybe not everything's right. Kansas State 17, Oklahoma 18, Texas A&M 19, Indiana 20, Ole Miss 21, Iowa State 22, Texas Tech 23, Tennessee 24, Boise State 25. As far as the top 5 goes for me, I definitely think that you ought to flip Penn State and Ohio State and then go ahead and flip Penn State and Clemson. I think Penn State should be 4, Ohio State 2, Clemson 3. Other than that, top 10 is not bad. I trust LSU more than I trust Alabama, so I would flip 8 and 9. But that, as far as top 10 goes, that's it's not terrible.
Yeah, I think everybody's been talking about the same thing. There is Texas, Penn State, Clemson, and LSU are the only teams in the top 10 that like have certainty at quarterback. Like Alabama has named their starter, but it's going to be his first year as a starter. Ohio State's going to have a first-year starter. Georgia's going to have a first-year starter. Notre Dame's going to have a first-year starter. Literally everybody except for those 4 teams are going to have first-year starters this season in the top 10. And so this is, I mean, it's all just a guess, right? These preseason polls are all just guesses. Nobody has played a snap of football yet. We're 2 weeks out from the first game, which is a ranked matchup now, according to the AP poll. So that's going to be fun. The game in Dublin, that's going to be a ranked matchup, which is really exciting. But yeah, it's all just guesses, and just I'm always curious, like, what are they basing it off of if we're just guessing?
I think at least the general consensus that I've gathered, it seems to be based on who's coming back and who's not.
Yeah.
Who's got starters coming back, who lost a lot to the draft and stuff like that. I think that's why Penn State's ranked so high. I don't know if any of us would have them ranked that high. Like, I agree. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like not just because they won the Natty last year, but if it was me, I think Ohio State should be 1, maybe Texas 2. And yeah, I agree with maybe Penn State, around 4. But yeah, I mean, I still don't understand how SMU is in the top 20. Boise State is in this at all. And how Louisville is not in the top 25. Like, I would at least put Louisville in the 25 spot and take Boise State out. But that's just me. But I think a lot of it, from what I've gathered and heard commentating on this, the general consensus seems to be who has players returning versus who lost a bunch. And, of course, factoring in first season players and stuff. So, yeah, that's the only reason why I think Penn State's so high.
Honestly, they should just go ahead and take Texas A&M out of the AP poll. The last 6 years,
I wouldn't be mad at it.
2019 through 2024, Texas A&M has been on the first preseason AP poll, and they have finished unranked 5 of those 6 years at the end of the year.
Do you think that people just, and this happens every year with A&M?
A&M is like the one team that everyone always expects to be one of the top teams in the country, and then they just go 8-4, and no one talks about them until the Pop-Tarts Bowl shows up.
They are the quintessential, like, I know but team. That every year. I know but with, like, we got it every year. It's the same. They're the I know but team every year. On paper, it makes sense. They've got everything, fan base, everything. And they can never make it work. I understand, when we started the NIL thing and all that, the first team that came to my mind when we started this was SMU's going to get good quick because there's a lot of money at that school, a lot of money. And they have experience with this. So There's probably some guys that they just call them. We're like, hey, all right, we're back in it, baby. I do feel a little weird. I think Iowa State and Arizona State. I think if you're clearing away the best team in your conference going into it, like I think Arizona State is, I think it should count for a little bit more than if you're like Oregon, who lost a lot.
And they've had some serious injuries like during camp right now. And they just had a receiver is suspended indefinitely. I just saw that today.
It's just weird. Like one team can lose a ton of people, and really for all intents and purposes, Oregon and Arizona State kind of finished similar at the end of the year. Like both made the playoff, both conference, did really well in conference, like all of that stuff, but they finished pretty similar. They both, one team loses a ton, the other one's got a lot returning except for their running back, and it's like those two because one's playing in the Big Ten and the other is playing the Big 12. It's like, well, you're not playing in a real conference, so you get like 6 spots down.
Yeah.
But other than that, I completely agree with Steve on the Louisville thing. I don't know why we think Boise State is going to be a top 25 team. I do not. You cannot turn that film on for Boise State last year and tell me that you could take that running back out of that offense and go, yeah, there'll be still a lot of production there. Yeah. That can't be possible.
Yeah.
There's one other that's really bothering me too. Miami at 10.
Yeah.
Should they be 10? Should that not be South Carolina maybe?
That's a good pull, Steve.
Maybe switch them.
Or I'd even take Illinois at 10. South Carolina or Illinois at 10. Are they really putting that much stock into Carson Beck?
Miami's here every year too. They're another one of the schools that's in the top 10 every year at the beginning of the season, and then they drastically underperform their predictions.
Kind of what I was alluding to, especially with Carson Beck.
But maybe Carson Beck gets them over the. I mean, Carson Beck's not a bad quarterback. Is he as good as Cam Ward? Probably not. But I think he is a good quarterback. And I haven't looked at Miami's schedule, but I don't know if they have a favorable schedule this year.
When it comes to who the NCAA wants to be really good, and we compare it to the NFL, is Miami the Dallas Cowboys of NCAA?
Wow, that's a good take.
Miami's got Notre Dame and Florida in the first 4 weeks of the season. They're starting 0-1 when they play Notre Dame.
They're getting at least outcoached in those first 2 games.
Yeah, they go. They've got Notre Dame, Bethune-Cookman, South Florida, and then Florida.
Bethune-Cookman, way to go out there on a limb, Miami.
Those 3 games are at home. Those 4 games are at home, and then they go to Florida State, which is in Tallahassee, and then they're at home again against Louisville, home again against Stanford. They don't leave the state of Florida to play a football game until November 1st when they go to SMU.
Yeah, I think the U. I think that era. There's still a lot of holdover. You think about, especially with the media, how old some of those guys probably are that vote on this. That the U still means a lot, and they want the U to be good. And I do as a college football fan. I think it's great when Miami's got that swagger. It's got that South Florida thing going. Like, I get it. Like,
that's an excellent fan base.
Oh yeah, ton of fun too. Like,
yes,
when they're good, man, it's a lot. College football is a lot of fun in the state of Florida. But yeah, I think they get a little bit of a bump from some of those old guys that are like, can we just will the U back into relevancy?
Yeah,
maybe it'll work out.
Maybe
just
it will.
Will them in.
I think there's one team that I kind of might be a little bit higher on than you guys, and obviously the AP poll, but Nebraska.
I was looking at them earlier.
If Nebraska beats Michigan on September 20th, Nebraska could be going into their Penn State game on November 22nd, 10-0. Like, I think that's a real possibility for this Nebraska team. If Dylan Raiola plays up to his potential and that defense takes another step, I think Nebraska could be in a conversation for the Big Ten championship game.
What What about Wisconsin? Because I was thinking about Nebraska and Wisconsin earlier. Like, should one of those teams maybe take the spot of like Texas Tech, somewhere maybe in the bottom 5 or bottom 3?
I have had to learn my lesson with Wisconsin and Iowa. I think, like, personally, I want them to be good, and Wisconsin is always just good enough. Like, just good enough. But I mean, if you think back, what Russell Wilson, the last time you looked at Wisconsin and thought like they could win a Big Ten title here, like I love their program. I love everything about Wisconsin. I think the uniforms are sick. I love the jump
It's
around.
a great red.
Yeah. But
they have
they're one of those teams that just has disappointed people too many years in a row. And I think ever going into it, it's kind of, but I say that, and I think Penn State is that. I think Penn State has done nothing but disappoint people that have wanted them to be good for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And we just keep putting them up there.
Well, it's always the same. It's the same 2 teams that Penn State can't beat. But Wisconsin's schedule is probably going to be pretty tough. They are at Alabama, at Michigan, Ohio State at home, at Oregon, at Indiana, Illinois at home. Wisconsin's got a tough. They got a tough ride ahead of them this season. So if you're a Badger fan, you better buckle up.
I think this is potentially a make it or break it year too for Luke Fickell.
Yeah,
that's why I kind of wonder, like, I
like Luke Fickell.
Me too.
He's a good coach.
He filled in well when he had to do that 1 year at Ohio State. Can't knock
very
him for
professional. Very, just a good guy. So, well, that's the AP Top 25. In the comments, let us know what you think of it. And if you think there should be some teams that should be swapped out. And let us know.